What's up, guys? Aaron here. So we're almost done with this Celsius bankruptcy. I really hope. So in this video, I'm going to go over some of the closing arguments that are going to be happening on Monday, the 30th of October. So you can see this is the schedule for Martin Glenn. So I'm going to touch on a couple things that came through the docket, including some pro se creditors' closing arguments. We have the closing arguments from the UCC and also the debtors, meaning Celsius. And then we have the list of people making their closing arguments. So this is really good. You know, BlockFi just got out of Chapter 11. I'll cover that in a different video. Most of you guys don't give a crap about BlockFi, but I'll cover that. BlockFi's out. Obviously, their bankruptcy was much simpler than Celsius's. They had a lot less moving parts. There is no reorganization. It is much more straightforward. And for BlockFi, most of their recovery comes down to what happens with them and FTX. So let me start out here with the judge basically laying into Otis Davis, the gentleman fighting for 81-cent cell token. He says that Otis is misbehaving during court hearings. He says that certain comments that he says are improper, repetitive, and will not be permitted. The judge says that Otis appears very knowledgeable about crypto, but not about court proceedings. His latest motion tried to throw bombs, and this motion basically, like I covered, tried to get the judge to recuse itself. So the judge finds and concludes this motion frivolous and without legal and factual foundation, and the judge says no more needs to be said about any of this. So moving on, we have the closing arguments. The first one from Richard Phillips. Then I'm going to get into the closing arguments for the UCC and also for the debtors. And then I will finish this video, and hopefully by Monday, we will know if this plan will be confirmed. And then hopefully we'll get the SEC to write off this plan and give their consent, and everything will go smoothly from here on out. So what Richard Phillips says, and he is a pro se creditor, meaning a creditor representing himself. So he starts out by saying the board is conflicted, meaning the people who make up the board other than Joe, Brett, David Adler, and Cam Cruz, these other 5 people have conflicts, either with White & Case, with Perella, and he says that the equity value of the new co is already way less than what they think it is or what they valued it at, just because most people toggled to full crypto. Most people, when they voted, decided to get full crypto, even though that was going to reduce the overall return of their claim. So therefore, he says there must be a discount greater than 30% because of the existing voting. So ultimately, he is voting for this orderly wind down, which still may happen. There would be a higher liquid crypto recovery on day one. He wants to carve out exculpation and releases for professionals, basically, so individuals can sue people once this is over in case they believe that some of these professionals did not do their job properly. And he wants the board of directors and the litigation oversight committee to be more creditor focused. So this is from the UCC, and they want this plan to be approved. They talk a little bit about cell token, saying that the settlement satisfies the best interest of creditors. They quote Robert Campagna, the managing director of Alvarez and Marsal, and also the expert witness Max Galka. So they are supporting Mr. Galka's testimony, saying that the price of cell token was manipulated prior to the pause. The market for cell token became severely dislocated after the pause. Cell token had no intrinsic value because it didn't have utility, and on the petition date, the only remaining value was speculative. And they are taking some quotes from Otis, who has been the biggest defender or fighter for a higher priced cell token, to prove or to try to prove that cell token is worthless, and therefore the settlement of 25 cents is very fair. So here the UCC is saying that they are entitled to exculpation. So a lot of pro se creditors, and even I believe the U.S. trustee, did not think that the scope of the exculpation provisions were adequate, or they were too large. Basically, White & Case is asking to not be held liable after the bankruptcy and after the plan is confirmed. They want to be released of any wrongdoing, and I believe that means they cannot be sued. So that is what they're going to be talking about on Monday. A lot of it's cell token and about making sure they do not get sued once this is all over. Next, we have Celsius, the debtor, what they're going to be talking about on Monday. This is a 44-page document, so I'm not going to cover all of it. A lot of this is going to be review, like right here. Here they go over the voting results. You can see that for most classes of claims, 98 to 99% did vote in favor. There were a couple classes that did reject it, but most large groups of individuals did vote in favor of the plan. Here they talk about some of the objections that they have resolved, including ones with the SEC, the U.S. trustee, and ones regarding Cell Token, whether or not it is a security. There are some remaining issues that they talk about regarding Cell Token or the value of Cell Token, some issues with retail borrowers, the NewCo board selection, which I covered in my last slide, some people thinking there are some conflicts there. So here they go into why they believe the Cell Token settlement is appropriate at 25 cents. So not going to talk about all this stuff. A lot of this was covered in White and Case's report. They said that Hussein Faraj, which had the report on Cell Token, they're saying that this was completely unreliable and that he himself confused the pause and the petition date. They are attacking his credibility, saying that basically he's just not a credible source here. Next, they are tackling this retail borrower settlement issue. So there's a pro se creditor, Johan Branch, who is objecting to the retail borrower, or I should say loan settlement here. So they highlight some points of the terms and conditions. So they're just going through some things that I thought was settled last year, to be honest. Anyway, heading to the NewCo board selection, they are going to make their case for why the NewCo board selection is adequate and is appropriate. Next, the EIP. This is paying employees and executives a bonus for completing things that a lot of people think should just be normal for them to complete. And this is going to cost the estate $2.6 million. At this point, guys, $2.6 million is like a month or a week's worth of lawyer fees. So yeah, it's not great. I don't love it, but here we are. And ultimately, we do just need to end this. So they have some proof that the EIT participants are being paid significantly below market, which is kind of crazy to think about, right? So a lot of these people are making still $200,000 to $300,000 while Celsius has been in bankruptcy for about a year and a half. And they're going to be paying people a lot of money, so possibly 2x their salary or 3x their salary. Again, this is something that I got really, really annoyed at when I first heard about this, but it is what it is, right? We have the director of Alvarez and Marsal saying that the EIP is necessary. So ultimately, whatever, the EIP is what it is. Again, not my highest priority right now. And finally, we have the judge saying who is going to get time to talk on Monday. We have the debtors, meaning Celsius, the UCC, we have the U.S. trustee, the ad hoc for borrowers, the ad hoc for earn, the ad hoc for withhold, and you can see how many minutes they have, the SEC. We have a couple pro se creditors, not going to read them all, but they get between 5 to 10 minutes. So that's basically it, guys. We have the next time there before the court on Monday, and all the stuff will be talked about. I don't know when the judge will confirm this or how that's going to work exactly. I know that the SEC does need to approve this as well, and that could take maybe a month or two for that to happen. So that's why right now I am looking at January, maybe February before we get to the crypto distribution here. That's if we don't toggle to the orderly wind down, which would then probably add a month or two to this plan, because then they would need to change things around and it would just add some more time to this. At this point, I am just focused on getting out of Chapter 11 the quickest. Even if we get an extra 2 or 3% more crypto, but it takes an extra 3 or 4 months to get that, with the bull market approaching or possibly approaching, it probably won't hit historically until the end of 2024. But if Bitcoin begins to rise, we do want to get out of this. I know there are some different ideas here. So if you're in the convenience class and you are getting that 70% of your claim, it's an argument that you want the price to go down because then you are going to get more coins for your 70% because that is locked in US dollars. Then we have everybody else in earn that actually wants the price of crypto to go up because that is going to give us more crypto back because less of the estate's crypto has to be sold to dollars to fund the new company. And then we have people who are facing retail clawbacks. And if Bitcoin goes high enough, there would be an argument that the Litigation Oversight Committee may not pursue retail clawbacks. So there are some competing interests regarding the price of Bitcoin and Ethereum. Ultimately, nobody has any control over the price of Bitcoin or Ethereum, so it really doesn't freaking matter. I just want to get out of Chapter 11 quickly and get people their crypto back and their stock and just get a move on with things. So that is it, guys. Thanks for watching. Until next time, talk with you soon, and bye for now.